Well, good morning. A really warm welcome here to Wycombe High School. It's so fantastic to see the hall so packed and to see you all going around this morning. I really hope you've enjoyed your tour of the school. My name is Nicola Renyard. I'm the head teacher here at Wycombe High, and it's always a really nerve-wracking day, this one, because the school is just operating as normal and we don't normally have as many people walking around in addition to all of our students. So I hope that you've had the opportunity to stick your head inside classrooms, to get inside all of the buildings, and you haven't ended up getting too congested, stuck behind other groups as you've gone around. I've been the head teacher here at Wycombe High since September 2022, and gosh, it really is an honour and a privilege to lead this school. The school was founded in 1901. I was talking to a group of you about our first head teacher, Mary Christie. In fact, her picture's up just outside Wycombe High TV studio. And since the school was founded, really at the core of our purpose has been the provision of high quality education for girls, and the unshakable belief that there is nothing that a girl cannot achieve. And it's our mission here to nurture our students so that they become ambitious, compassionate members of their community, eager to contribute to all different aspects of life and beyond. I'd like to tell you, I think to start with, a little about our school ethos and our values, because they really guide us here at Wycombe High, and it's what our community is founded upon. Our ethos is that we look beyond. When I started working here, lots of people said to me, we look beyond, what does that mean, Mrs Renyard? Lots of the students, as well as other people coming around the school. And one way that I've found to try and describe it is that here, we're always sort of picking up the stones, seeing what we can do better, seeing how we can innovate, seeing how we can improve things. And that really drives us. We like to go beyond what you might conceive to be a typical girls' grammar school in many, many different ways. And I hope I can give you a bit of a flavour of that in my talk this morning. At the heart of it, though, is encouraging a love for learning in the classroom and outside of the classroom, within an environment where your daughters will feel safe and they'll be happy. Because if we feel safe and if we feel happy, that's where we can learn the best. We also have 4 school values here at Wycombe High, just on the board there to my left. And we often reflect on those values and what they mean to us in different contexts. I sometimes talk to the students about being infectiously joyful. It's certainly true that we don't all come into school every day infectiously joyful, but we try to find those pockets, those moments. We try to find moments to be curious. We try to find moments to be full of generous spirit, looking out for other members of our community. And we try to have limitless ambition, whatever our interests are and whatever routes we want to pursue into the future. And I really hope that this morning you've seen that ethos and those values alive in the school. We see them every day. They really do inform the way we do things. The behaviour and the attitudes of our students, the policies, the procedures, the structures that we have in place here, what our curriculum looks like, and I'll talk to you a little bit more about that in a moment. But they're woven through the fabric of our school. You might be aware that back in May 2024, a telephone rang here in reception, and it was a call from the Ofsted inspection team. And we've been waiting as a school for 14 years for an Ofsted inspection, and we were really delighted that that inspection was a positive experience for us. But during the visit and in the report that followed, the inspectors commented that interactions between pupils and staff are defined by a sense of community and mutual respect, and that our students are instrumental in creating the diverse and inclusive community that they're rightly proud to be a part of. And I think that just absolutely captured all of our hopes and ambitions for the school here at Wycombe High. It's certainly a really exciting time to be thinking of joining Wycombe High School. I hope that you've seen as you've toured the school site, we've been investing very heavily in several exciting projects to improve the experience that your daughter will have studying with us. Last year, we completed a significant refurbishment and extension of our tennis and netball courts to county club standard. I'm not sure if you will have gone outside with the rainy weather today, but there's a picture just up here on a rather more sunny day of some of our netballers in action. More recently, at the start of this term, we completed the refurbishment of a new set of PE changing rooms. Sport is very popular here, all different range of sports, and the installation of a brand new sprung floor in our gym, including a tumble track. And strong links with our local community, with Wycombe Hockey Club and with Chiltern Cheetahs cheerleading, have made some of those projects possible for us. So we're really delighted to have those resources on offer for our students. We've also invested very heavily, £200,000 in fact, in the upgrading of 19 of our classrooms. And hopefully you saw some of those as you were going around. That's a top to floor refurbishment, new lighting, new floors, new blinds, new tables, new chairs, and complete redecoration and new IT resources in all of those rooms. And the feedback that we've had from the students has been wonderful, actually. Of course, they're spending all of their time in those rooms, and we want them to be inspired by their surroundings. As I said to them in my assemblies at the start of the year, we're just at the top of our list. There are many more things that we'd like to achieve with the school site, and should you join us, I hope that you will be on that journey with us and you will see that. Now, if your daughter does join us next September, she'll be in fantastic company, because our students are our greatest asset here at Wycombe High. And I hope that you've had a really good chance to chat with both the Year 7 and the Year 12 student, those two ends of the school, on your tour. In total, we have 1,378 students on roll here, and 418 of them are in our sixth form. So a big sixth form. And that's a really vibrant part of school life. We're a very ethnically diverse community. Around 71% of our students come from global majority heritage backgrounds, and around 281 of our students speak English as a foreign language. Our Year 7s in this year's cohort have joined us from around 70 different feeder schools across a catchment area that includes some of the wealthiest parts of the county and also some of the most socio-economically challenged parts of the county. So in that respect, we're a really diverse community as well. And we're very proud of the diversity of our community. And when our Year 7s join us, it sort of stands to reason, with 192 students in the year group, but in the region of 70 feeder schools, we do lots of work to enhance that transition, because the leap from primary to secondary can be very nerve-wracking, as well as an exciting time. I'm sure that you will be well versed with the secondary school admissions policies by this stage in your daughter's school career, and that to qualify for a grammar school, there is a requirement to achieve 121 on the secondary transfer test. Just wanted to draw your attention to a second qualifying criteria that we have in our admissions policy here, and indeed is a criteria that is shared by all of the Buckinghamshire grammar schools, which is for students who are disadvantaged in the receipt of pupil premium, service premium, or looked after children. And that's that if you are in receipt of any of those things, you would be deemed qualified for entry to Wycombe High School with a score of 113 to 120 on your secondary transfer test. So I like to always share that with parents at this opportunity ahead of the results coming out, to make sure that there is a good understanding of that. But if you do have any questions around our admissions process or the admissions policy, it is available on our website, and please do get in touch with the school and we will endeavour to help you navigate what can be quite a challenging time with that move between schools. I want to try to give you a sense of what our students are like here at Wycombe High. It's obviously an incredibly difficult thing to try to do, to capture what over 1,300 students are like as a generic group, because each individual is incredibly different. But there are some characteristics that undoubtedly they all possess and that we see every day. They have academic prowess. Sometimes they come with a real passion for a particular subject or a particular suite of subjects. I was chatting with some Year 7s actually the other week. In their birthday month, I invite them to come and have break time biscuits with me in my office. And we were chatting about this event and that this had been them a year ago and what had made them really excited about coming to Wycombe High. And they were saying it was the technology, it was the art, the chance to be creative and to make some of the things that those curriculum areas will enable them to do. So sometimes the students have a real passion for the STEM subjects, the science, the mathematics, or the humanities, but certainly they all share that academic prowess. They also share a real aptitude for success in other non-curricular pursuits. We have many elite sportswomen, many elite musicians. We have students who are involved in wild and wonderful things outside of the school gates. And we sort of encourage them to tell us about those things so that we can celebrate with them. And that really feeds in and enriches what their experience is in school then when we can share in all of those glories with them. And there's definitely here amongst our students a recognition of the value of seizing opportunities. I've never worked in a school where the students participate so readily in the different clubs, the different competitions, the different opportunities that are offered to them as part of school life. And I think sort of as a consequence of all of those things, our students definitely share the ability to be highly successful lifelong learners. And we have them for 7 years. And our aim really is that by the end of those 7 years, we've created, or helped to create these curious-minded individuals who are going to head out into the world sort of ready to succeed in knowledge-based economies that might throw all sorts of challenges at them. You know your daughters though, and you know the challenges of some school life sometimes, and certainly it's true to say that sometimes our students share a good measure of self-doubt as well. Sometimes they share a fear of failure and of getting things wrong, and sometimes they carry a bit of a burden on their shoulders that they want to achieve really highly, they want to do really well. And that's something that we're really acutely aware of here in a girls' grammar school setting, and something that we work very hard to mitigate. And my primary purpose here as head teacher is to create an environment with my colleagues in which your child can be supported through some of those worries and challenges and concerns that she might hit along the secondary school road to achieve all of those qualities and all of those things that I listed just at the start there, to be a lifelong learner, to have those, seize those opportunities, to have success inside and outside of the classroom, and to contribute eagerly, but step outside of the comfort zone knowing that there's that safety net around her. What motivates our students is, oh my goodness, a keen sense of justice. They are interested, they're informed, they come and talk to us about what they think about what's going on, and we really value that. Student voice is right at the heart of what we do here, and hopefully you've seen that from the Wycombe High TV studio that we've got here and the investment that we have in our student voice being broadcast every week in Wycombe High TV News, but we have it through lots of other parts of school life too. We run student surveys, we have a student council, we have form representatives, house representatives. Students are able to take part in little projects like being agents for change, which is an anti-bullying initiative. So through lots of different ways, we try to make sure that their voice is heard and amplified. And they tell us that the things that they really like about Wycombe High are the range of different opportunities that are on offer, that they feel positive and safe when they're here at school. And one of my favourite things that a student said to me when I asked them about Wycombe High is, when we leave here, we can do anything, which I think is just a wonderful piece of feedback. We work really hard to create that environment where students are free to be themselves and to seize those opportunities. Right at the core of that is our taught curriculum. That is the primary thing that your daughters will do, 5 lessons a day when they come in through year 7 all the way through to the end of year 11, and then the majority 3 A-levels when they go into the sixth form. This is a summary of what it will look like. I could delve down into rather more detail than that, but in summary, they study their key stage 3 subjects, just at the top of the board there, across year 7 and year 8. And they then opt for their GCSE subjects, which are taught here at Wycombe High across a 3-year key stage 4. Now, the reason we do that is because our students are very able, and it really gives us the opportunity to stretch and challenge, to explore in more depth some of those subjects that they study within the suite of GCSEs. There are obviously the core subjects, which are required at GCSE, English language, English literature, mathematics, and the 3 sciences, and our students study all 3 sciences, biology, chemistry and physics, as separate disciplines here, plus the opportunity for students to choose from a range of options subjects, which typically are things that they have really enjoyed through year 7 and year 8. To complement that, so that their choices are not narrowed, we run an enrichment carousel alongside the GCSE. So if, for example, your daughter decides not to do history, GCSE, she will still have exposure to some history via the enrichment carousel that runs. So that's a really important part of our offer as well. Now, although it might seem far off, right at the bottom of the board, your daughters will complete their 7-year journey at Wycombe High in our vibrant sixth form. Most of our students choose 3 A-levels to study. A small selection will study 4, and from a selection of 25 different subjects. You may be aware that John Hampden Grammar School, the boys' grammar school, is just across the road from us here, and thanks to our close partnership with them, our students have benefited and will benefit from a range of collaboratively delivered A-levels and mixed activities, so they have a really broad and balanced experience in that sixth form environment. For example, we run a weekly Futures programme in collaboration with John Hampden, which is a series of electives where sixth formers can choose different topics for a fixed period of 5 weeks, which are either run here or run across the road at John Hampden in co-educational classes. And we like to think that the sixth form is the opportunity to give them the very best of both, all of the benefits of a single-sex education, but also preparing them for life beyond year 13, where they will be heading out into a co-educational world. In addition, in the sixth form, they also have opportunities to do things like Gold Duke of Edinburgh Award, the extended project qualification, core maths, things like that. So it's an exciting time. Beyond the curriculum, we have lots of opportunities for students, sort of lunch times, after school, to take part in clubs. We have over 100 clubs and societies. When I got here and they told me that, I didn't believe them. So I asked to see a list, because over 100 seemed like a crazy amount to be running throughout a 2-week timetable cycle. But I can vouch it's actually true. We do have over 100, and they are wild and they are wonderful. We have a Bollywood dance club, we have a chess club, there's a Harry Potter club, there's a manga club, there's a hockey club, a netball club, there's a jazz band, there's orchestra. I could go on and on naming all of the different ones, but hopefully what you'll get a sense of is that no matter what your interests are, there is something to try. And with our Year 7 cohort, we really encourage them to go and sample a range of different things and see what it is that you enjoy. And certainly based on the feedback from the Year 7 so far, that is absolutely what they've been doing at the start of term. I can't sort of talk to you this morning without saying a little bit more about Wycombe High TV. I've mentioned already how integral it is to amplifying our student voice here. 2 of our Year 13 students, Naomi and Zawadi, are very happily helping this morning for us to record this speech so that we can broadcast it to parents not able to be here on this open day. But our students are involved all the time in front of and behind the camera. They might be anchoring, heads up, they might be doing vox pops around the site for Wycombe High TV News, or they might simply be doing some editing on the suite of computers that we've got just next to our studio. In the first 2 weeks of this term, bear in mind we have 192 Year 7s in our new cohort. Over 100 of them went to the production meeting. The room nearly wasn't big enough to host them all. So every Monday lunchtime, there's a production meeting. If they want to take part, they head along at lunchtime. All of the tasks get divvied out, and then they head off with their commission, with their deadline, and they work on either recording that, producing that, directing that, and that goes into the next week's edition. So when you're watching it at home, now you've got a little bit more of an insight into what's happening in the background with Wycombe High TV. Now, a really important focus in every secondary school is the well-being of our students, and pastoral care is something that is so important to get right, to make sure that our students feel happy and feel safe. You might have heard from your tour guides this morning that our students are in vertical tutor groups from the start in Year 7, which means there are 3 or 4 students typically from each different year group, all the way through from Year 7 to Year 13. That enables them to really have that support, that knowledge, that nurturing from the older students who have been quite literally in their shoes, 1, 2, 3 years before, to buddy up with them, to help them through some of those early weeks in the school. We also have a specialist, head of Year 7, Mrs Sage, who will be a really visible and important part of the transition process to Wycombe High School. We have invested quite heavily in our pastoral structures and our wellbeing structures, and we take a preventative approach, sort of aiming to give our students the tools that they need if they come across times that are more challenging. So we have a dedicated mental health lead who works in a team with a mental health officer, with our SENCO, who is a member of my senior leadership team, with our individual needs lead, and then also with a team of school counsellors and learning support assistants. And we do also even have a therapy dog who comes in to visit us, Mango. So that's really wonderful. Here we've got a really keen understanding of how some of those pastoral challenges can manifest in young women. That is different, can be different to what it looks like in young boys. And really we are aiming to support and develop their resilience and the ability to positively manage their mental health and well-being if and when they require it. But that additional support, hopefully you can see with the structure that we've got in place, is always on hand should they need it. I'm certain that much of what I have said this morning will have been visible as you've toured the school. I really hope that you had the chance to mine our students for questions, because without a doubt they are the best source of information about life at Wycombe High. They will tell you what it's like every day on the ground, and with a refreshing honesty, which is brilliant. I hope that this morning has inspired you and that you feel excited about the potential of becoming a student at Wycombe High. Myself and my colleagues will be on hand just at the end of this talk if there is anything you'd like to ask, or if you're not able to hang around and you have any questions when you get home, please do reach out and get in touch with us and email in to the school, and our admissions team will endeavour to come back to you as quickly as possible. Wish you a really safe journey home. Thank you very much for coming.